Okay, so craving and clinging. Um, Upandanda is the Sanskrit and Pali word for clinging, attachment, or grasping, although the literal meaning is fuel. Upadana and Tana are seen as the two primary causes of suffering. The cessation of clinging is what leads to nirvana. There are four types of clinging. There's sense pleasure clinging, wrong view clinging, rites and rituals clinging, and self doctrine clinging. And the Buddha once stated that while the other sects might provide an appropriate analysis of the first three types of clinging, he alone fully elucidated clinging to the self and its relucent suffering. So just a breakdown of what these types of clinging mean. Sense pleasure clinging is the repeated craving of worldly things. Wrong view clinging is things such as eternalism, like the world and the self are eternal, like that kind of idea would be wrong view clinging. Rites and rituals clinging is believing that rites alone could directly lead to liberation, typified in the text by the rites and the rituals of ox practice and dog practice. And the self-doctrine clinging is the self-identification with selfless entities. Um, According to the Buddhaghosa, the above ordering of four types of clinging is in the terms of decreasing grossness. That is, from the most obvious type of clinging, sense pleasure clinging, to the subtlest, the self-doctrine clinging. One must break clinging in order to break the cycle of suffering. Okay, so Pataka Samuppada and its history. There's really some extra facts on Pataka Samuppada as well. It's also known as the conditioned genesis. And this interpretation of Pataka Samuppada is from the Theravadan belief system. But in some belief systems, Pataka Samuppada depends on an Atman. Basically, the dependent origination is the doctrine of the conditionality of all the physical and psychological phenomena, a doctrine which, together with that of the impersonality, forms the indispensable condition for the real understanding and realization of the teachings of the Buddha. It shows the conditionality and dependent nature of that uninterrupted flux of manifold physical and psychological phenomena of existence, conventionally called the ego or man or animal. It can be read about in works by Vidusyamaya, Payadasi Thera, and multiple Buddhas. Some comparisons between Anatman and Padakasamuppada. Both Padakasamuppada and Anatman agree that all things are interconnected. Interconnectedness of all things is important in Anatman in order to understand why the self would not exist. Interconnectedness of the mind and body is important for Padakasamuppada to understand why the self does exist but must be rejected. So both ideals are seen as a path to end suffering or dukkha. Some contrast. While both focus on the same concepts, they have opposite ideas of what the relationship between the body and the self are. Padakasamuppada completely rejects the self to end suffering, while Anatman argues that the body exists, but the self cannot exist. Anatman recognizes the existence of the parts of a person, the Brahman, but rejects the self, whereas Padakasamuppada accepts the existence of both body and the self, but emphasizes that the self is part of the human mind, so it must be rejected. And that is all. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. I enjoyed doing this this project specifically. I believe that learning about the not self is important so that we as Westerners can try to achieve nirvana, or at least end dukkha. That way, we can just have like a lighter load on our chest, and that way, that we'll be able to enjoy our day and our lives better. That is all I have to say. I hope everyone had a great semester. And like I said, I'm sorry that this was late. I tried to send it yesterday. I tried to send it the day before that. I've had a lot of trouble with that. But yeah, here it is.